Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report OU Football Edition. I'm Rick Heath, my broadcast partner here, Mark Rogers, and we are at Cohiba Lounge here within a couple of football throws of Memorial Stadium, and we're here talking about OU, Michigan, and smoke through a keyhole. Joe Washington, or as a lot of people like to call Little Joe Washington, smoked through a keyhole this Friday night. We'll have a special at 6:30 for boxes of his own personal cigar, Mark.
I got a box of mine. Hey, did you see the soup of the day?
No.
They don't serve soup here. It's beer. Yeah. So I like that at the Cohiba Lounge. So
like that. Come here and get
cool.
The soup of the day, beer. And it's a good beer all the time, everywhere here at Cohiba Lounge, Jenkins and Boyd here in Norman. You got to come this weekend, OU, Michigan. It is a battle of Big Blue against Big Red.
Yeah, what a great game. It's only been played one time between these two teams. That was in the 1975 season.
You know, and that's kind of,
yeah.
I understand they're in, different conferences and all that, but it's still strange that they've only played one previous time.
One time. OU beat Michigan in the 1976 Orange Bowl to win a national championship, 14-6, which might be the score of this game coming up this week. It could be pretty low scoring.
Well, it could be, and the defenses probably are, more of the highlight, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But I want you to take me back to the first game, OU Illinois State, 35-3. What were the highlights to you of OU's first game with John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle as quarterback and offense coordinator?
John Mateer was the highlight. 392 passing yards is a really good game. You have to have the receivers to be able to go out there and catch that. And I think OU still may have some issues at that position, but to throw for 392 in his debut was off the charts good. I thought overall the defense was pretty good. There were some sketchy runs at times in there, some explosive plays on the ground, but you have to consider the opponent as well, the intensity level of everything involved in that night. But if the headline to me is John Mateer is really good.
And you know what? Whose record he broke?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, which was a fairly good quarterback here at the University of Oklahoma, and not a bad NFL quarterback at that. Hey, we are at Cohiba Lounge, where this Friday, September 5th, it'll be smoke through a keyhole for Joe Washington's signature cigar. So be here early, stay late, drink lots of beverages, and smoke a few cigars for Joe Washington here at Cohiba Lounge. We'll be right back after this.
If you've been in an automobile accident, you need expert medical evaluation and care. Just like in football, every team needs a leader to reach the goal line. Dr. Lopez will be the quarterback of your care. With a trusted network of specialists, he makes sure every part of your injury is treated the right way. As a board-certified, fellowship-trained trauma specialist, Dr. Lopez brings years of experience to your recovery. Concussions are often overlooked, but we use the iBox concussion system, the only FDA-approved office-based device for detecting concussions. Play it safe. Get checked out without delay. Call the OKC Car Crash Clinic at 405-86-CRASH today. Your health is too important to wait.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rogers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk vodka, and Old Moses bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits. Hi, friends. Did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Gemformations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Mark, one of our good friends, T&W Tire, is sponsoring us this year. Talk to us about T&W Tire.
Well, we love T&W Tire. They're the sports animal locks of the week, so you're always going to get some good advice on that. T&W Tire started off in Oklahoma in the 80s with 5 locations, and they've grown to 30 locations that are all across the Southwest, Midwest part of the United States. So if you need tires for a fleet of vehicles, that's what they really specialize in. They do a great job with that. But T&W is more than just tires. If your car has the check engine light on, you can roll in there, oil change, they do it all. They'll usually give you a diagnostic exam for free when you go in there. So check them out, man. They do great customer service. Lovely guys at the location on 25 North Council Road over there, but they've got locations all over. As we said, great family-owned business.
And welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath from Cohiba Lounge here in Norman. Now, John Mateer, 392, 30 of 37, 3 TDs. Great start. Great start. And, you know, on the opposite side of that, what happened to the run game?
That's a good question. I don't know what happened to the run game. They ran at 3 yards a carry. It wasn't a particularly good afternoon for Javonte Barnes. I thought Amari Blaylock looked really good. I thought he looked like, you know, he's a back that can step right in and play as a freshman. Other than that, we didn't see Jaden Knott. Probably can talk a little bit more about why or what the reasoning was there. That's going to have to be better. I mean, Michigan has got a premier defense. They're used to facing rushing attacks. And so the run game, I was expecting a little bit more from the offense, even though you had a quarterback throw for almost 400. The running game was so limited that that's still very concerning.
Oh, by the way, speaking of limited, the under first half, by the way, covered.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, that was never in doubt.
Yes.
The total never in doubt.
Never.
Congratulations.
Never. Yeah, so anyway, that's it may be whatever the under is this week, you may go again.
It's taking money. The under is taking money right now. It's 45.
But, you know, the run game, you know, you look at it and you go, okay, is it the offensive line? Is it the schematics? Are they holding back on anything, you know? Are they playing games? Is Brent Venables, you know,
no, the answer is no. The answer is no on playing games. The only thing that would be different this week is John Mateer can be an elite runner. Now, I don't think at any time this season do you want to rely on John Mateer's legs to win you a football game, because there could be consequences of sending him out there and putting him at exposure of risk of getting hurt. But I do think against Michigan this week, we're going to see quarterback run game featured in the attack that we did not see at all last week. But as far as just blocking and creating space for running backs, and I think there's culpability on running backs too, like hitting holes and being where they need to be. The run game looked a lot like it did last year, which is not good. So that wasn't something that they're planning on holding for anybody else the rest of the year. It's just not where it needs to be.
And that's a question you got to have at least asked, because it was such a questionable outcome. Mm-hmm. Okay, now against Michigan, it's going to be a telltale sign. Okay, can they run the ball against Michigan? If they can't run the ball against Michigan, they're not going to be able to run the ball against the SEC guys.
Well, how do we expect them to run the ball against Michigan? I just, again, like if it is John Mateer making some plays, then I think you could probably count on the rushing totals to be a whole lot better. But let's just think about the logic of what we're asking. They couldn't run against Illinois State. They're not going to run it against Michigan. We're talking about one of the best rush defenses in the country over the last 4 or 5 years with guys that are going to the NFL. And so, I mean, could they improve during the course of the season? Yes. I think improving from last week to this week to the point where they are successfully moving the ball on the ground against Michigan, I think is too much to ask. I mean, you better batten down the hatches and try to expect to win a low-scoring game here.
Well, okay, and then the opposite thing is, okay, John Mateer, if they can't run the ball, that means the linebackers, defensive ends start teeing off on the quarterback and start getting pressure on there. Then they're going to have to adjust OU's offense, and Arbuckle will have to adjust to make sure that they get protection, which they did against Illinois State. Mm-hmm. Can they do the same thing against a big, strong, physical defense like Michigan?
I think it'll be tough. Like I said, I think a low amount of points wins this game, because Michigan is not going to be real aggressive on offense either. They have a freshman quarterback playing his second game. He is an elite talent, but you don't want to ask him to do too much in this ball game. And Michigan is a team that's used to running the ball against teams that stop the run. So I think you'll see both of these teams really have to work to make first downs and touchdowns in this game.
Well, and that's probably the look right now. Okay, for a fan, what would you say? Okay, how would you say that OU is going to get yardage other than Mateer? Is there a way?
Well, I think they will. I think they can throw the ball. I think that's one way to do it. I think also Mateer in the run game is another way to do it. You also have the ability to make a play on your defense, and that's what Brent Venables has made a living on throughout his entire career, is forcing some turnovers, because you do have an inexperienced quarterback over there on the other side. So, yeah, I'm not saying by any means that OU can't win this game, but if it was a fight that you were going to grade on based how successfully OU runs the ball, I think that's going to be a struggle.
Well, and the fans came into this season hoping that the offensive line struggles were behind them. It doesn't appear yet to be behind them. And are the freshmen that they have touted so highly, can they look at those and say, okay, we can depend on two true freshmen to make this run game better?
Well, it's possible. I mean, Michael Pasusi didn't play last week. I think they're really going to need him because Jake Sexton left the game last week, and he has more of kind of chronic built-up injury throughout his career. So if Pasusi does not play, then you're looking at a third-team tackle, or you're looking at somebody moving from another position to kind of shore that up. Which kind of creates issues depth-wise too. So that's not optimal. But the offensive line very much has question marks.
And that was what they were hoping, the fans were hoping to avoid this year. Hey, we're at the Cohiba Lounge here in Norman, where they have smoked through the keyhole Little Joe Washington cigar boxes and packs for sale on this Friday. So come by and help celebrate Little Joe Washington's Smoke Through a Keyhole cigar this Friday, September 5th. We'll be right back after this.
If you've been in an automobile accident, you need expert medical evaluation and care. Just like in football, every team needs a leader to reach the goal line. Dr. Lopez will be the quarterback of your care. With a trusted network of specialists, he makes sure every part of your injury is treated the right way. As a board-certified, fellowship-trained trauma specialist, Dr. Lopez brings years of experience to your recovery. Concussions are often overlooked, but we use the iBox concussion system, the only FDA-approved office-based device for detecting concussions. Play it safe. Get checked out without delay. Call the OKC Car Crash Clinic at 405-86-CRASH today. Your health is too important to wait.
The garage is more than just a place to fix up the classic car. It's also a place to watch an instant classic. Or write the next great classic rock song. The garage, the place to keep it classic.
Charles, I do quite enjoy Oklahoma, but I do declare I miss the pub. Oh, Michael, you silly muppet. Why don't we just go to Pub W? You plonker. Pub W. It's Oklahoma's pub with all your favorites. Fish and chips, pigs in a blanket, chili lime chicken salad, and of course, whiskey. You said whiskey, my good man? Indeed I did. Pub W. Oklahoma's pub.
Mark, one of our good friends, T&W Tire, is sponsoring us this year. Talk to us about T&W Tire.
Well, we love T&W Tire. They're the sports animal locks of the week, so you're always going to get some good advice on that. T&W Tire started off in Oklahoma in the 80s with 5 locations, and they've grown to 30 locations that are all across the southwest, midwest part of the United States. So if you need tires for a fleet of vehicles, that's what they really specialize in. They do a great job with that. But T&W is more than just tires. If your car has the check engine light on, you can roll in there, oil change, they do it all. They'll usually give you a diagnostic exam for free when you go in there. So check them out, man. They do great customer service. Love the guys at the location on 25 North Council Road over there, but they've got locations all over. As we said, great family-owned business.
And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath from Cohiba Lounge here in Norman, where not only do they have Smoke Through the Keyhole, but they have every premium cigar brand here that you want in a great humidor. So if you like to smoke a cigar, have a favorite drink, watch your favorite sporting event, come to Cohiba Lounge and enjoy yourself, where they always have deals on cigars and beverages here at Cohiba Lounge. We were talking defense. Now, the question with a freshman quarterback is, can you make him uncomfortable?
Yeah, I think so. OU's got a really outstanding defensive line, edge rushers. They have everything on defense that you like. I'm a little worried about maybe the linebacker position is not as big and strong as some of the linebackers you see in the Big Ten that are normally defending the run against Michigan. SEC's got multiple offenses, but probably skewed a little bit more passing than what you see in the Big Ten. Linebackers played a good game last week, but still, I think this is a tough matchup for them going forward. Great to see Gentry Williams back at the cornerback spot. True talent that has battled injuries a lot throughout his career, but for him to be out there helps a lot at a position where they are still fighting through an injury to Eli Bowen.
And here's the thing. Sharon Moore, offensive lineman. Mm-hmm. He's got a freshman quarterback. He's telling his offensive coordinator, hey, look, we're going to run the ball. We're going to run it hard. We're going to run it a lot. I want you to come up with a game plan that's going to protect my quarterback, eat the clock, keep John Mateer off the field.
No doubt. And that's we should have you can probably make plans after the game. It start at 6:30. I mean, I think we'll have a fairly quick-moving game.
On the ground, it's going to run that clock.
It's not an explosive offense for Michigan, but they've been able to make plays when they've had to. The way that Jim Harbaugh set it up, and now, of course, Jim Harbaugh's now in the pros for his second year, so Sharon Moore is going to create some of his own identity. But
last year they were 129th in passing efficiency out of 130.
Well, we had a guest on, John Jansen, today on the radio. I think he said last year that the longest pass play for Michigan was 37 yards. I mean, they still win a bunch of games. They still ended up beating Ohio State and beating Alabama the last two games of last year. So, don't just look at that offense and say, well, they're not going to be able to score enough points to win the game. You're going to have to stop that run. You're going to have to keep your defense off the field so it doesn't wear down late in the game.
And that to me, that's the biggest question for Brent Venables as the defensive coordinator now, is how do you come up with a game plan that's going to be run heavy with a huge offensive line and say, okay, I can do this consistently where I can get them in 3rd and long. And that's going to be the key.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to come up with extra resources to try to stop the run. And again, you do have a talented quarterback over there, so you have to worry about going over the top and hitting some big plays. But that's what creates excitement in football games, and strategies and all of those involved is that you have to play against the other team's strength. And while if you use too many resources to do that, you can get bit.
Well, that's where Gentry Williams comes in. Having him back's huge because they can put him one-on-one out there with one of the wide receivers, and then use the freshman, and double over there, and that way they can put everybody else in there. Now, tight ends, has been successful in the Big Ten, and Michigan has had their share of tight ends. So to me, tight ends and linebackers might be a key in this game.
Well, that's right. So you put the OU linebackers in conflict, and that can be an issue, and that's what Michigan's run defense likes to do. Colston Loveland was drafted by the Bears last year, 10 overall, a Michigan tight end. So that position at Oklahoma, not necessarily a big part of the air raid, but at Michigan, it is a big part of their offense.
It is. That to me, that's where the linebackers are really going to have to be on alert, is because they're committing early to stop the run, and yet right by, the tight end goes by, and that could be one of those big plays that Michigan has been sorely needing in their offense. But Bryce Underwood, the number one quarterback coming out, he's obviously a talented young man, but he's a freshman. It's his first road game. There's nothing good and settling about starting their first game on the road in that stadium right over there.
Yeah, that's got the crowd needs to be loud and excited and really into the game.
Well, a 6:30 nationally televised game, if this isn't, then the OU don't have the fans they think they have. That's all I know.
It'll be good.
They'll have all day to get ready here on Campus Corner. And part of that, getting ready on Saturday, is coming by Cohiba Lounge, getting one of your favorite cigars, and smoke one here and enjoy it, and then get one for after the game for a victory cigar, hopefully, for OU fans, and enjoy it here from Cohiba Lounge. We'll be right back with the final segment after this. And welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report OU Football Edition. This Saturday, the Big Red play the Big Blue from Michigan, and it's going to be an interesting game. We don't know a lot about Michigan's offense. We do know a lot about their program and how strong and physical they are as a Big Ten. And that's the one question that OU has on defense. They're very good, but can they hold up against a relentless running attack that's going to pound them probably 30, 40 times at least in the run game. And to me, the biggest obstacle for OU's defense is to hold Michigan's running game and limit them to where it's second and long, third and long, if they can.
Yeah, Justice Haynes is the transfer from Alabama that ran for 3 touchdowns last week against New Mexico. He's going to be a lot bigger test than New Mexico was, but I think that he looked good. He's a really good quality back.
Well, when you come from Alabama, maybe you didn't get to play there, but that's no sin. I mean, that Alabama's got 5 and 6 deep, kind of like University of Oklahoma used to have. Now that's kind of a thing of the past with NIL, because nobody's going to sit on the bench if you're not getting any carries.
OU's got running backs playing all over the country right now.
Yeah, they may have some more next year.
Tawi Walker.
It's starting at Wisconsin, right?
Tawi Walker's not Cincinnati. He was at Wisconsin last year and played there well. And we saw Gavin Sawchuk score a touchdown for Florida State against Alabama last week.
They're all over the place. And so, to me, Brent Venables, this is the first big test as his defensive coordinator duties, is can he stop the run game of Michigan?
Yep.
And that will tell a lot. If they can get more than 150 yards rushing, it might be tough for OU to win.
Yeah, I think that 150 is a pretty good number. We saw a couple of teams last week. Florida State, we mentioned, they ran for over 2 bills against Alabama. And so, you start being able to mount that kind of rushing yards, then you're in big trouble.
And that's when when you get and Kevin Wilson used to always say, I need 3.8 to 4 yards a carry. I need to average 3.8 to 4 yards a carry so I can have my offense work.
Right.
And if you can hold that, on the other side of that, if you're a defense, if you can hold them to under 3 yards a carry, then you can get that second and long and third and long, and it puts the defense the down and distance in your favor.
Well, and I think the one thing that is really important that has been a problem for Oklahoma is you got to win first down. If you get to 2nd and 5, your entire playbook is wide open. But OU hasn't had the ability to crank out those solid 4 and 5 yard rushing plays for quite a while now. 2nd and 8. I mean, then if you're going to throw a pass, you're in 3rd and long. At that point in time, you bring the blitz into play, a lot of different things. 2nd and 5 is going to be really good for OU this week. So I think a lot of times 3rd down, yes, is a critical down, but 3rd down only becomes critical if you're not executing on 1st and 2nd downs. So Oklahoma, 1st down, I'd like to see them average 5 yards a play. If they can do that, I think they got a good chance.
I think they can do that. But now it's going to take a combination of passing, John Mateer running, and the backs playing a lot better and the offensive line playing a lot better. So if they can do that, and maybe it's not happening this Saturday, but that's what they need to work through, and especially when Auburn comes in here.
Hey, and let's mention this too. I think that people should have faith and fans should have faith in this guy. But Ben Arbuckle is not very far removed from calling a high school plays. I mean, and so he had a big game last year and won the Apple Cup. But nowhere near the exposure and the pressure and the presence of this game with Michigan coming in here. So it's a big test for him. Let's see, hey, can you dial up some stuff and not be necessarily conservative? I mean, there's a lot of pressure on his back for this game.
Well, and I'm looking forward to seeing that, because there's no reason to hold anything back now. I mean, this is the win game. This is a pivotal game for the University of Oklahoma. Can they win against a big-time opponent, physical opponent, on their home turf, and take that next step? Because this year is Brent Venables' job.
Well, there's been some great first-year offensive coordinators at the University of Oklahoma. Mac Brown was great his first year in 1984. You had Mike Leach come in 1999 and kind of set the bar high for the other guys that came in. Kevin Wilson coordinated some incredible offenses. Lincoln Riley was good in his first year, but again, the presence was there. I think Lincoln Riley had a big improvement over what Josh was in 2014. That could have been players too. So let's see what Ben Arbuckle's got. Can he add his name to that list?
Can he yet? Because if he does, he could be the next head coach of whomever in a year or two. Hey, that's going to do it for this week's show. I have 21-17 OU.
All right. I think that seems like a really good number. I think OU have a chance to win the game. See, I'll go. I'm going to dial it back a little bit. I'll go OU 17, Michigan 13.
Pizza.
Well, we're both picking OU by 4. How do we decide who wins the pizza?
Okay, so whoever wins by more than 21 points, you got what, 17?
Now hold on, wait a minute. I might put myself in a pickle here. I'm picking 30 points. That's really, really low.
It is.
We have to wait for another pizza bet.
Okay, we'll do another pizza bet.
We've got the same pick.
We'll do a cigar bet. We'll do a cigar bet because we got a 4-point difference. All right, that's going to do it for this week's show from Cohiba Lounge. And don't forget, Friday, September 5th, Little Joe Washington cigar smoked through a keyhole to celebrate his own cigar. We'll be here next week with more on the Oklahoma Sports Report.